Hello, Crocker 6th graders. Here's another screencast for you. Commas, parentheses, and dashes. Oh my, when to use each one. So here's the deal. Right here, commas, parentheses, and dashes are all used to, quote, set off, which means punctuate non-restrictive expressions. A non-restrictive expression is an expression that can be taken out of a sentence and there is no change in meaning to the sentence. Sentences that had additional information from our first gas activities are non-restrictive expressions. Because if you look back, if you took any of those expressions out, really the sentence would not have changed meaning. Here's a quote in terms of how you know which one to use, commas, parentheses, or dashes. Put in olive sizing terms. I know that sounds weird. The size of olives, so think like small, medium, large. Or in this case, large, giant, and super colossal. Commas are large, parentheses, giant, dashes, super colossal, said by William Safire. In other words, use commas if you're not trying to stress the expression. Use parentheses if you are trying to stress or put focus on the expression. And use dashes if you're really trying to stress the expression. You'll see what I mean in a second. Use of commas. Here's kind of a sentence that you may remember. Attorney Stevens, my dad's lawyer is a nice guy. You'll see a comma in front of my dad's lawyer and a comma after. The added information, which is called in the positive, is non-restrictive, meaning if it was not in the sentence's meaning would not change. Attorney Stevens is a nice guy. Still the same topic. Commas are used because my dad's lawyer simply gives added information. It is not any more important than the rest of the sentence, nor is it stressed. It just flows like the rest of the sentence. Use of parentheses now. Attorney Stevens, my dad's lawyer who was disbarred, is a nice guy. So now you can see this inside the parentheses has changed. Being disbarred is kind of a big deal. It means the man is no longer practicing law because he violated some rules. That information is stressed, so parentheses are needed. Here's another one. Clint, a video game player and a math whiz, programs computers in his spare time. Use parentheses here because he's playing video games and he being great at math is stressed to connect with the fact that he's good at computer programming or he has interests in computer programming. So video game player, math whiz, they kind of go together with programming computers. So we would use parentheses here because that information is stressed. The author wants you to understand that information. Now dashes. Dashes are when you really want to stress something, like you really want that to stand out. Attorney Stevens, the idiot who inexplicably got disbarred, is my dad's friend. Use dashes here because the idiot who inexplicably got disbarred is obviously stressed. The reader really wants you to know that. Use of dashes. Again, black widow spiders, there's one on your shoulder right now, seldom hurt people. There is one on your shoulder right now is really stressed by the reader, or by the writer. Use dashes here because the expression is obviously stressed. Here's a quote. I know it can be frustrating that there aren't hard and fast rules about when to use commas, parentheses, or dashes, but learning to use your judgment is part of finding your voice and becoming a better writer. In this case, the rules are more like the Pirates Code in Pirates of the Caribbean. They're more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules. I bet Jack Sparrow never used a comma. He seems like a dash man to me. That quote's from Mignon Fogarty. She's also known as the Grammar Girl. And the frustrating part about this, what we're talking about, these parentheticals, is quite often it's tough to determine commas or parentheses. There's a gray area there. Dashes, I think, are a little bit easier because the information is so stressed. So I thought this quote was something that was a quote that would kind of sum up the fact that, it can be sometimes confusing as to which one to use, particularly between commas and parentheses. All right, now I want you to try. Press pause in a second, not now, and go get a piece of paper. You need to write down all of these sentences on a piece of paper. You're then going to punctuate them correctly. So you're going to have to put some sort of punctuation here, some sort of punctuation here, some sort of punctuation here, 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 and then at the end of city. So please determine if you're going to go with commas, parentheses, or dashes based on what we talked about earlier in this video. All right, there's your task. Please have this ready tomorrow when you come to class. Have a nice day/evening. Good luck.